235 million tons. That's the total amount of coal that India ended up importing in the year 2018 and 19. In the same year, the All India production of coal stood at about 729 million tons. And now, in order to manifest the idea of an Atmanirbhar Bharat, the government has decided to open up the sector to private entities. The privatization of the coal mining sector intends to reduce the country's dependency on coal imports by auctioning 50 coal blocks to private players. For the infrastructure and transportation of mined products, the government has set aside 50,000 crore rupees. This move can virtually end Coal India Limited's apparent monopoly over the coal sector. This package will allow players to buy coal blocks in the absence of an eligibility criteria, except an upfront payment without a ceiling. Furthermore, in a bid to reduce environmental impact, the Finance Minister also announced the auctioning of coal bed methane by CIL. Coal bed methane or CBM is considered to be a clean form of energy. It is an unconventional natural gas found in coal mines, which is extracted as a safety precaution to reduce pressure. The extraction of CBM also helps control the amount of methane released. However, extraction of CBM is still quite controversial owing to the use and disposal of water to depressurize the beds. This can lead to a reduction of quality and quantity of groundwater in these beds. This global pandemic has put the Indian economy in a tough spot. Therefore, it is not surprising to see some unconventional strategies being used in the hopes of reviving it. However, is privatizing the coal sector a step in the right direction? And if it is, what are the critical factors to be kept in mind while doing so? What is the current status of coal production in our country? And what are the possible environmental impacts? Let's try and find out. Coal production in India can be traced back to the early years of British colonialism. However, it was after independence that the 5-year plans actually boosted the production of coal and its subsequent use and importance in the country. Consequently, the Government of India established 2 government-controlled companies, the National Coal Development Corporation and Singareni Collieries Companies Limited. The nationalization of coal production was realized in the early 1970s. The Coal Mines Act 1973 facilitated the transition. In more recent times, statistics have proven its effectiveness in employment opportunities. As per the 12th 5-year plan, for every 1% increase in economic growth, the mining sector creates 13 times more employment than agriculture and 6 times more than manufacturing. It's vital to note that coal sector is one of the 8 core sectors in the mining industry. Additionally, an IEA report for 2018 shows an increase in coal use, especially in Asian countries such as India, China, and Indonesia. In the same year, India's coal production significantly increased. In the first quarter of 2020, GDP of mining in India averaged to 1,092 billion rupees, an all-time high. With an increased dependency on mining, the role of CIL has become more prominent over the years. CIL has been India's leading state-owned coal mining corporation since 1975. Deemed a Maharatna company, the Government of India has expanded CIL's investment ceiling to encourage global presence. In accordance with its nationwide work, it has 8 subsidiary companies based on the geographical region of India, ranging from Eastern Coalfields Limited to Mahanadi Coalfields Limited. CIL stands as the largest coal producer in the world, accounting for 83% of India's overall coal production. Now that we have enough context about the history and the business of coal production in India, let's take a look at the environmental and its social impact. CIL has an environment policy which encourages the company to consider sustainable development in planning projects, conducting mining in environmentally ethical and responsible methods, recycling waste, creating awareness, and so on. These policy commitments are especially significant now, with global deteriorating environmental conditions. There are specific laws that are required to be implemented while practicing coal mining. These range from the Environment Protection Act, the Forest Conservation Act, Prevention and Control of Pollution Acts to labor safety laws like Mines Act, the Land Acquisition Act, the Coal Bearing Areas Act, and the Coal Mines Nationalization Act 1973. These vital pieces of legislation govern the process and the rights of acquiring land for mining if deemed necessary. For the regulation of environmental damage, the Environmental Impact Assessment under the EPA is implemented to study the potential effects of proposed projects under activities like mining. The process can take a year as it involves consulting the public, studying its effect over a wide time period, and reviewing the final decisions. However, the EIA has come under fire for introducing recent amendments to its guidelines, one of which seeks to reduce public involvement in decision making. Around 14 new type of projects have been exempted from public consultation in a March 2020 draft notification. Under the 2006 EIA notification, all projects, whether new or expansion of old ones, were required to undergo public consultations. But under the new draft, the only project expansions which now require public consultations are those whose capacity would expand to more than 50% of their initial capacity. On the subject of dwindling public scrutiny, in a January 2020 notification, the EIA has also shifted offshore and onshore oil and gas exploration to the B2 category, which requires only online permission and no public hearing. Additionally, a public hearing must be completed within 40 days, as compared to the earlier provision of 45, and a period of 20 days, no longer 30, will be prescribed for the furnishing of public response. The dilution of public involvement in the EIA could potentially permit environmental oversights in a bid to increase industrial projects. Coming back to coal, recently CIL has come under fire for not regulating its pollution levels. A report drafted by the Comptroller and Auditor General of India based on an investigation of CIL's activities showed that they had not implemented environmental policies. With an irregular track record, future mining projects would need to be scrutinized even further. Common environmental effects of coal mining include increased pollution, deforestation, erosion, encroachment of forest areas, and community displacement. Given the CIL's trouble in properly implementing the environmental regulations in the past, a more privatized setting may further blur the stringency of rules. Many projects are situated close to the homes of indigenous groups and rural communities with little to no regulation. A study conducted in Talcher coalfield exposed the socio-cultural effects of unsupervised mining where guidelines had not been adequately enforced. Observers noted that the transportation of coal by MCL was conducted via trucks and railways. However, coal-loaded trucks often traveled uncovered. In the same region, data showed that 95% of inhabited households reported the effect of spillage from the trucks on their surrounding localities. The economic fruition of coal mining cannot outweigh its devastating and long-term impacts on the environment. Compounds such as sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxide, ash, and dust particles into the atmosphere accelerate the damage to air quality. With the potential to cause soil erosion and degradation, the effects of coal mining are more likely to impact the agriculture sector as well as severely reducing the availability of groundwater. In Raniganj and Jharia, noise pollution as a result of mining is proving detrimental to surrounding localities, resulting in hearing losses and ear damage. These coal fields are also site for acid mine drainage, which occurs when components in water react with surrounding rocks and other materials with high level of sulfur-bearing minerals. AMD is also prevalent in northeastern coal fields. Additionally, mine water might contain toxic heavy metals such as lead and cadmium, albeit at different levels that may or may not be harmful. While CBMs are considered a clean resource, it still poses adverse environmental effects. In relation to the excessive use of water to depressurize methane, the process subsequently compromises the quality of groundwater and surface water. Water used in the process has also been responsible for upsetting the chemical composition of soil and posing harmful effects on ecology due to the presence of harsh compounds such as bicarbonate. The productivity of CBMs depend on density, pressure, geological constraints, and efficiency. Since CBMs have a lower rate of yield, companies aim to drill more wells in order to gain sufficient profits per project. A notable example of its long history of serious environmental violations being the Karanpura coalfields in Jharkhand, where CIL Central Coalfields Limited subsidiaries is active. Over the decades, tons of coal waste was dumped into the Damodar River every monsoon. In 2012, the Jharkhand High Court ordered the removal of coal waste dumps of CIL's Puranid mines, which were polluting the river. With a huge push around the world towards clean energy in the light of climate change and environmental degradation, coal mining is a balancing act. Coal enjoys a huge popularity in India owing to its major influence in power generation and industry. However, it would be foolish to take it a step further without contemplating the risks and dangers it brings. There must be alternatives, and if not, better ways to do it, both at an industry level as well as at a policy level. What do you think about the decision of privatization of coal mining in India? How is it going to affect our economy and our environment at the same time? Let us know your thoughts in the comment box down below. You can follow us on our social media handles and our website for more such stories. The links are in the description. Stay safe. See you next time.